Alright, what up, what up? This your boy Whodat. This is part 2 of my intro video. In the first part, I talked about my motorcycling background and where I've been and what I've done. If you haven't seen that, I'll probably put an annotation somewhere up on the video, or it'll be in the description. This is WhoDatMV. I'm your favorite motovlogger's favorite motovlogger, even though they won't admit it. So let's get to this thing about me motovlogging. So in my last video, I talked about how I've known some people who have been hurt or died on motorcycles. So I took about a 7-year break from motorcycles because I didn't wear gear back then. I thought it was lame, stupid, you know, whatever. I know a guy who got hit from the back. No gear is gonna save you from that. And another guy who they said, you know, he lost his head in a motorcycle accident on the highway. He had a helmet on, and the reason why he lost his head was because the bottom of the helmet caught on a guardrail and his head slid, cut it right off. So those kind of things, I refused to wear gear. But then I had kids, and I didn't want them to lose their dad. So I quit motorcycle riding altogether. That lasted 6-7 years. And you know, I talk to my kids about motorcycles, dirt bikes, that kind of stuff, because you know, kids get older, they ask about that they want to ride, and I just tell them stories about when I used to ride. And I used to always tell them about also the bad part, you know, how you can get hurt and how you should wear gear from the daddy who didn't wear gear. They always ask me to promise them that if I got into motorcycling again, that I would wear gear. And I didn't want to, so it lasted a minute. You know, I would still talk to people who rode bikes and stuff, and I would hear about accidents people had, and they'd say, you know, people would, you know, tell them, treat them like it was their fault. And I thought about it, and I will always wonder, well, they had dash cams, so they got something like that for motorcycles. So I decided to check YouTube, see if anybody done it. And I had seen some guys who like videoed them riding around like curvy roads or whatever. And I seen my first motovlogger, which was interesting, that somebody would get on a motorcycle and talk about stuff. And I thought I kind of liked it, because I talk to myself anyway. So I figured maybe somebody like to hear what the hell I have to say. And he just ran a light, and that's an official state vehicle. So I decided on quite a few things, actually. Number one, I wanted to get back into motorcycling. Number two, I wanted to reduce the chance that my kids would lose their dad. So I decided to look for some gear. I'd get a motorcycle endorsement and insurance, and I would take a safety class. And I'd get a camera just in case something happened. I'd have proof if it was my fault or not, you know, whatever. So what I did was, I got a GoPro, I took the class, got my endorsement. I found this 1995 Yamaha YZF600R that this kid was trying to turn into a street fighter. And the kid was young, and his dad said he was going to kill himself on a bike, and he wanted to go to college. So he was going to use that money towards school books. So for $600, I bought this halfway working bike. So I spent that winter getting parts that I needed. And you know, when you buy a used bike, there's like always some deferred maintenance, broken parts, rusted bolts, etc., etc. So I went through the whole process. So, because in 2012 I took the MSF class, got my endorsement and all that. Bought the bike, you know, for myself the end of 2012, going into wintertime. Spent that time working on the bike. 2013, I put the bike on the road. I got my GoPro. Funny thing is, it's the same one I'm using now. So I started off, no microphone. This bike had no windscreen. The front fairings were missing. What I didn't know is how difficult it would be to find parts for this bike, especially fairings. So I rode it as it was, you know, back and forth to work, around town, you know, trying to work the bugs out of this bad boy. And I recorded it the whole time. So the end of the bike season comes, and I'm like, you know, I've worked out enough bugs. I'm pretty close on the carb settings. So I'm gonna get one last ride in before I tear it down for the winter and go ahead and get it painted, make it look nice. So I decided I'm gonna video that, take this one last ride. And lo and behold, during that ride, fucking chain snaps. Now, mind you, the speed limit on this highway is 70. And I'm not gonna say I was moving, I'll put it that way. My RPMs on the bike just dropped. Something hit my boot and I couldn't get no power. And found out that the chain had broken the case. So I pulled the bike over, oil and coolant leaking everywhere. Well, being an older bike, finding a case for that bike was a little difficult and a little expensive. I put motorcycle on hold. Now, between that time, I got a new job, moved a couple times, all kinds of stuff happened to put everything on hold. Last year, finding parts of that bike was so difficult that I decided to buy another bike. Another, you know, non-running bike. I mean, it was a runner before it was wrecked. My 1992 ZX7. So a guy had wheelied the bike and wrecked it. I paid 250 bucks for the bike. I figured I can't really lose. Worst case scenario, I could part it out. Sweet. No big deal. I think I can handle that. So I get into this bike, and once again, deferred maintenance. Like, this bike had been dumped so bad, the edge of the carburetor had broken off. Uh-oh, bad boys. State police. All right, so I got about 2,200 bucks into this bike, and I keep finding crap that's broken and tore up. And guess what? Start of the season, nope, no bueno. So one of the bros like, you know what? I got a spare bike. He just bought him a new bike. So he loaned me his F4i while I continued working on my bike. Cool. So I decided to motovlog again. That plastic bag tried to fucking attack me. I go looking online, you know, trying to find a GoPro. Now, mind you, during all this time trying to fix my bike, prospect for the club, take care of home, I also have an hour and a half one-way commute to work. I'm working 50, 60, 65 hours a week, which leaves me zero time to do anything. I finally found a GoPro that I can afford, a GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black, and I love that thing. So I had 2 cameras. Yay! My motovlogging dream might become a reality. I used one GoPro on the helmet, the 3 Plus Black, and I used the GoPro Hero 2 for like a second angle on the rear view, for like a rear view shot behind the bike. Don't have a mic yet. I want to see how much battery life I get between the two. I want consistent video quality before I start motovlogging. So those early videos would just be riding, like no talking, and I'll let you see a couple of clips. I'll put them in right here. So you see, I was trying to experiment in different angles or whatever. The F4i breaks down on me. Luckily, it was up north with my bros. But the first cylinder shoots the spark plug out, and it reams a hole in it. So now it needs repaired. My other bro said, "Hey, I've got my 600RR. You can ride that until we figure out what's up." All right, so cool. So I'm still gathering parts for my ZX7. I'm not really rushing it. I probably should have, but I wasn't. So I started trying to get a microphone and record. Well, one day on my way to work at highway speeds, my cell phone, my GoPro, I spent hours looking for them. Never found either one of them. Now, mind you, during this whole time of me recording, I had got like these generic microphones, which one of them I'm still using right now. And I would record and sound would go in, out. So I'm trying to work the bugs out so I can get my motovlogging going. But I'm having like this shitty look. I mean, I got some halfway decent footage out of some of it, but most of the time it wasn't, it wasn't like conversational stuff. It was testing my mic. Like, it was just like a bad year for me. I'll show you a couple of clips of some of the footage. Oh, what a fucking day. Money today, I'm fucking pissed. And I think I've got enough footage to make like 2 short kind of motovlogs. I'll make 2 of those videos. We'll call that season 0.5 because it really wasn't a full season of motovlogging. It was a disappointing year for me trying to motovlog. I took the 600 back to my bro. I was working too many hours at work. It was a pain. I didn't have time to spend, doing family stuff. It made doing stuff for the club difficult. I get back in college, I'm taking up like media communications. I've decided to get my certificate from, social media business, related things. I really don't want to work for anybody else, especially the bad experience that I had with my last job. I really want to be an entrepreneur. I want to run my own business and help other small businesses tackle the social media realm. You know what I mean? That became a goal to get back, help push me. But to push me back into motovlogging and have a purpose behind it. You know what I'm saying? That previous year, I had took that 600R from like Kentucky all the way to Louisiana and back. It made me realize I needed a cruiser. Something to travel with, long distance I can slap the miles on. My GoPro that I had lost, I had bought it from a pawn shop. Started asking me what I was trying to do, and I told him about the whole motovlogging thing. And he's like, well, I got something for you. Showed me Bertha. We worked out a good deal, and that's how Bertha got here. So what I did, I decided to challenge myself to, start making content this year with just my GoPro Hero 2. I want to upgrade. I'm going to, but right now we're going to work with what we're working with. I got Godzilla's going to be worked on. I'm gonna shoot some video on that. I want to drag race, and I really want to work on this whole motorcycle safety awareness thing because it's close to my heart. I love to ride motorcycles. I don't want to give it up again. But I love my family even more, and I don't want to leave them without me if I can help it. And it's not just important to me, but it's important to everybody that rides a motorcycle and other people. My plans this year are to share my motorcycling experience. I want to drag race this year. I want to finish my ZX7. I want to do some canyon racing. But yeah, that's my goal. Just share this experience with you and anybody who's watching, and anybody's got any questions. If it's something I can talk about, I have no problem talking about it, sharing my opinion. The more people ride and the more people share this experience, the safer we can make the sport. And there ain't nothing like it, man. Hitting throttle, getting some air, there's nothing like it. So if you want to come along for the ride, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to make sure that when I get something new, you're notified. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook at WhoDatMV, WHOD as in dog, A, T as in Tom, M as in motorcycle, V as in Victor, victory. I'm still trying to figure this whole how I want to do this thing out. So if you want to be part of it, holla at your boy. 2 wheels, 1 love. Keep the shiny side up. And I'm out.